If you at any point in this video start to think of me like the Grinch, I'm totally okay with that. Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. My name is Gitte Mary and today I am doing an anti-haul because this is both my favorite and the worst time for me during the year. I love November, December, January, February because it's cold, I can cozy up, there's so many holidays to look forward to, but entering the holidays, we are also entering peak time for overconsumption. So two things are true at the same time here. I think during the holidays, because overconsumption is so much in your face and we are all sort of encouraged to buy more and spend more than we need to, a lot of people realize that perhaps this is a tad too much. However, there is also just a vast overconsumption of everything from resources to goods to food, everything. So in today's video, I'll share some things that I'm anti-hauling this holiday season, this winter period. And you can let this be a reminder that these things are perhaps not as sustainable and necessary. Perhaps for some people they are. I'm not the judge of that. These are just things that bother me thoroughly. Okay, let's get started. The first thing I won't be buying are luxury advent calendars, and low-key also shitty advent calendars, but I have different reasons. So on TikTok it seems like it's become very popular to do unboxings of advent calendars from big designers and brands, and specifically I've seen Dior, Gucci, Louboutin, and then there was the famous Chanel one, I think was last year, the year before that. I guess it's in that ballpark. And the things that you get are useless. You get sample sizes. You buy sample sizes for $1,000. Congratulations and Merry Christmas. I think it is such a clever marketing scheme. You get to have something that says Chanel and you didn't have to spend $10,000 to get it. But it's a logo. It's a little product with a little logo and you got scammed. You don't spend thousands of dollars on a spick and span, up-to-date, top-notch supply chain. It's the same as fast fashion in a lot of instances. Essentially, you're just buying the prestige of how it looks when you wear a certain logo. It's all made up. It's all marketing. It's genius, but you shouldn't spend your money on it. Luxury advent calendars, I think, are marketing scams. I think you're not getting anything that's worth the amount of money that you pay. You're paying for the prestige and for the logo and for something to have written the logo on it. Anyway, the reason why shitty advent calendars aren't my jam either is because, and this is true for even the expensive ones, but all these small knickknacks, all these small things are not ethically made, are not sustainably made. They're made, mass-produced in factories where people are not getting paid fair wages and where sustainability is not a factor at all. I've also seen dropship companies and more like fast fashion brands do these advent calendars. I know you can get things from Shein and Temu, etc. Don't ever touch that, it's awful. If you want to do an advent calendar, you can make one yourself, either with bulk sweets or sweets that you get, put them into little pouches or fold little paper crates. There's so many ways that you can do this in a fun, cute way. And if you're doing it for yourself or for your significant other or for a friend, get things that you know they will actually like and use. Makeup products, tea, sweets, candies, socks, whatever, but something that they can use and something that they'll like, and not just a stupid fucking keychain. Moving on. Anyway, that was a long rant for something. Continuing. Wrapping paper. Need I say more? So for the past 8 years, what I have done instead of buying wrapping paper, I have several options that are going to be more sustainable than going out and buying wrapping paper. First of all, when you get gifts, they will often be wrapped in wrapping paper. Save it, don't tear it apart. Save it and use it next time you're giving a present. You can also use magazines, newspapers. You can also wrap your gifts in fabric. I've done it with dishcloths, towels. I've also used tote bags and canvas bags. There's so many ways that this can be done sustainably, but going out and buying wrapping paper is just the biggest waste of money. Mainly because it's meant to be destroyed. It's meant to be looked at and then destroyed, which in and of itself is highly philosophical and honestly a little bit relatable, but don't spend your money on wrapping paper. There's also the fact that most wrapping papers are coated with plastic and glitters, which means that they cannot even be recycled, so they will just be thrown away with landfill or general waste. I'm not buying wrapping paper, and I haven't for almost a decade, and it's working out fine. Now, this has been something of a pet peeve of mine for years, even before zero waste, because I've just been thoroughly bothered by it. So I wanted to talk about this again. Joke gifts, or gifts that you know you give with the main intention of just getting someone to laugh, and then that's it, and it's unserious, and it's not something that's meant to be used or liked, or maybe like a hate gift, something that you know is so ugly or so useless that it's funny. The idea is funny, but spending money and resources producing something and you buying something that's not meant to be loved and used, I just really cannot see the point in that. So I only give people gifts that I know that they will like and use. And furthermore, I think it's completely okay to re-gift something if you already have it or if you can't use it anyway. Re-gift it or sell it or do whatever you want with it. I think we need to break down these social norms of what we do with gifts, because so many people just feel trapped and held hostage by a gift that they don't like or can't use, but it feels sort of impolite or rude to re-gift it or to sell it. I think it's completely okay to re-gift something if you cannot use it, and I'm anti-hauling. Any joke gift, hate gift, or gift that's given without the intention of lasting a long time and being loved. Okay, moving on. Now there's really no way for me to do this video without also talking about Black Friday deals. Whenever we have a holiday, we cannot just enjoy ourselves. We have to spend money, obscene amounts of money, and get even more obscene amounts of stuff. Now, I don't think the idea of spending money during a deal if you need the thing and if you're on a tight budget, that's not what I'm criticizing, because obviously you do you. So if you normally can't afford a new TV or a new fridge, but you can during Black Friday, obviously like that, this is not for you. What I am continuously criticizing when I am talking about Black Friday and other kind of big consumer holidays is not those people that need to spend money during that time, because otherwise they wouldn't be able to get the stuff that they need. It is all those unnecessary things that are being bought. It's all the over-consuming. Normal, regular amounts of consuming is fine. It's the overconsumption that's the problem. And you know, we can even dive deeper and further into it and talk about why we aren't looking at secondhand options, pre-loved options, etc. The things that I buy when I need something. I have not bought a new thing and I don't know how long. I go on Facebook Marketplace and I find someone who's selling something. Anyway, you can do that as well. Also, if you're on a tight budget, I really recommend, because you can get some really nice things for a good deal. Better than Black Friday deals all year long. Yeehaw! However, Black Friday deals, especially on electronics, especially on clothing, especially from companies that have no business being as cheap as they are in the first place, I'm because it's not just one day. I don't know how it is everywhere else in the world, but Denmark has adapted Black Friday without adapting Thanksgiving, because that's not our history. But Black Friday we definitely love, and it's all of November. It's Black Month, it's Black November, and it's killing me. And you know, you can have a longer conversation about, is this something that consumers have pushed for with our consumer habits, or is it something that we have been nudged into getting used to by corporations and brands making these deals? Like, what came first? But it really doesn't matter. I think especially during consumer holidays, especially during times where you're just getting bombarded with deals and discounts and offers, I think it's even more important to stay focused and conscious and only spending money on the things that you need and that are necessary and that you enjoy using every day. I think it's very important to not get carried away and get things that you normally wouldn't get, because this is what happens during the Black Friday sales, is that things are so cheap that we buy stuff even if we don't love it. And because it's cheap, and I have experienced this in stores, in thrift stores as well, where you look at something and you really like it and it's kind of cheap, and you start to think stuff like, if I could just be this kind of person, oh, I could be the kind of person that sails. I could be the kind of person that goes hiking. I could be the kind of, stop it. You're not going to be that person. Only get things that you know for a fact that the current version of yourself will actually like. But when things are really cheap and in abundance, it's so easy to get carried away and end up getting things that are not necessary and that you don't really love. So especially during this time of year, I think it's important to stay focused and think to yourself, if it's not a fuck yes, it's a fuck no. Now I'm going to be controversial for a second. I don't know if I am, I'm probably not. I'm gonna name this anti-haul item celebrity collaborations. This is not every type of celebrity collaborations, but there are some, many in fact, that I don't like. I think that sometimes some celebrities venture into unknown territory, into industries and sectors and fields where they are not experts. You're typically just going to outsource the actual production and design of the product to a third party, and then we're slapping your name on it. And it's never going to be as good as the people and the brands that are actually experts in making these things. That's my humble opinion. But something that I've seen being advertised a lot, especially on social media, is Paris Hilton's kitchen appliance supply line collaboration. I don't know what this is. I don't know who she's collaborating with. I just know that that's not what Paris Hilton is good at. Actually, I'm taking that back. Paris Hilton is an insanely brilliant businesswoman that has one goal, and it's to become a billionaire, and she stands for everything that I do not believe in and I think is wrong with the world. However, I can recognize that what she's doing is brilliant and amazing and really clever if you have the type of goal that she has. I just think it's unethical and unsustainable, and we don't really need this. But she made a kitchen line with pink heart-shaped knives, cutting boards, small kitchen appliances, etc. And I have such a thoroughly hard time believing that these products are going to last and are quality-wise something that can live up to or compete with existing brands and options. I think that she is betting on a certain type of consumer demographic buying these because they're cute and pink and heart-shaped. I also think it's an incredibly easy way to make a quick buck, and I can absolutely guarantee you that no amount of thorough supply chain transparency is available. It's not made ethically, it's not made sustainably, and I don't even think that was a factor during production. There might be some recycled materials or recycled packaging involved, but I think our fun ends there. And the last one, I've talked about this before in a previous anti-haul from previous winter period, but I'm still seeing this stuff everywhere, so I'm gonna talk about it again. Ugly Christmas sweaters and ugly Christmas jumpers, if you will, that are specifically meant to only be worn during a very limited period of the year and are only meant to be worn as a joke. The same as joke gifts. I don't like it because these jumpers are knitted, often with a cotton wool blend, and this is a really impactful material to produce. And buying something in these impactful materials simply just as a joke to wear once or twice and that's it, I think it's such a waste. It's such a wasteful mentality, and it's not something that people come up with because they mean ill intentions. That's not at all it. It's something that we have seen on movies and we've seen it on television and we have seen it in advertisement campaigns, that it's a fun thing. Everyone shows up wearing something ugly. And it is funny, but you don't have to go out and buy a new Shein, H&M ugly Christmas jumper from Wish, etc. You can actually go to vintage shops and thrift shops and find actual ugly things from the 80s and wear that instead if you have a tradition of wearing something ugly for Christmas. Because the idea is funny, it's just the execution that's kind of bad. Getting something vintage that's ugly but in the right way because it's ugly and authentically so ugly, I think it's a better idea to do that rather than spending money on something that's only meant to be worn a few times. And then there's also the notion that when we buy these things, we actually say yes to them. So when we buy ugly Christmas sweaters and jumpers, we're also saying to the brands creating this stuff that they can just keep producing it because there are more consumers that want to buy it. And I think we need to be way more conscious with the clothing that we're buying and wearing and using and loving. And there are many, many ways to do that. But one thing is to be mindful of quality and think in ways of using these pieces of clothing for as long as possible. And wearing an ugly Christmas jumper all year around would be a way of doing that, but I really doubt that anyone will do that. So instead, trying something else might be a better idea. Anyway, that was it for this video. I hope that you like this anti-haul. Let me know in the comments down below if you're anti-hauling the same things or if there are other things this winter holiday season that you are also anti-hauling. I would love to know. Thank you so much for watching. Have an amazing day and I will see you guys next time. Take really good care of yourselves. Until then, bye. Thank you so much for watching this video, and also a special thank you to my Patreon supporters. You guys help me create green zero waste content and I love you guys. You can find the links to my social media accounts down below and the link to my Patreon on this screen. Bye!